That was one of the interesting things about Newfoundland. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. They're
So,
lovely
well,
kids.
welcome this evening for everyone. And we were going to begin with our warm up, and it will be standing for the duration of the 45 minutes. So hopefully that's okay. If you needed to find a chair, that is also fine. So find yourself comfortably situated in your Qigong stance with the feet, toes pointing straight ahead, the head over shoulders, shoulders over hips, slight bend in the knees, and just stand there for a moment and take a couple of nice centering breaths. Inhaling up the back, over the crown to the third eye, exhaling down the front as you draw navel to spine. Noticing the quality of the breath, the nature of the mind, the nature of the spirit, the nature of your physical body. You can also think of your emotional state at this point too. Let's begin with a little swing hand. So we'll inhales up, exhale, emphasizing the back swing. So just enjoying the gentleness. You can hasten the speed as you begin, but do check in with the breath. Inhaling from the root, the belly, the tailbone, the feet, up the back, over the crown to the third eye, exhaling down the front. Can you feel the belly inflate on the inhale and contract or deflate on the exhale? So we're going to do a few of these, more than a few, but noticing what begins to change. Everyone has gone through the day, is close to perhaps retiring for the evening or anticipating still dinner, or maybe just relaxation. So it is an opportunity for reflection. Checking in with the breath. And the interesting part about this movement is it, in and of itself, it's demonstrating a growth component, the upwards movements, but then it's balancing out with the downwards movement. So we can visualize perhaps a tree or a sprout that has left the ground in terms of its trunk or canopy, and it's moved upwards, but then at the same time, it's continuing to extend its roots under the surface. And it's looking for that sense of balance. So you are also looking for a sense of balance. And when we are describing balance as it relates to these wood organs, the liver and the gallbladder, the balance is important for the nourishing cleansing of the blood, And for the treatment of fats, so your digestive process, your blood, they need to be in balance for health. And that's true of all the systems. But there's a special place for the liver as it relates to the blood and to our emotional states. For when out of balance, you can see anger take hold. So notice if this helps you to perhaps be a little bit more calm. Or perhaps you find perhaps the opposite of that. But do check in with the breath. Change the cadence. Now, if anyone's starting to feel perhaps a little heady or heaviness in the head, slow it down. Soften. And notice if there's a change there. Change in the blood pressure. Change in the sensations. If you felt like maybe you were starting to create a little too much heat, the heat moving up into the head. Notice what you feel in the eyes. There is a direct relationship to the eyes when we work with the liver. We'll slow this down now, just coming back to a nice, relaxed mountain pose. The arms at the side, and just notice what you feel now. Take a full round of breath. And then let the head lower. And take the chin to the right shoulder, up and around and down to the left. Now, this is quite powerful for the gates of consciousness, the gallbladder point. It also affects the bladder points. And so let the head circle around. There are other points here too, but those are two particular ones with this canting of the head backward. And then lowering of the head forwards. Checking in with the breath. So these would be a little warm-up routine, but with a slight more descriptive nature. So if we found that the heat had risen and was now giving us a headache, or we were feeling angry, or the eyes were becoming bloodshot, these would be some points to be attentive to. Let's finish with the head down, and then go the other way, left to right. circling the head. Now, some folks would have maybe a challenge with this part. Sometimes it can make people dizzy. So if it does have that impact on you, an alternative would be to keep the head upright and turn it side to side. Turning it to a side on an inhale, or returning to center on an exhale. That's another option. And let's do two more. Finishing with the head down on this one. Slowly lift the head. Just notice what you feel now. And with that said, let's let the arms just come out from the sides a little bit. Sweep them up from behind, forwards and down, bending into the knees. You can again turn the head if you like, side to side this time. And as before, you can take this nice gentle movement, or you could increase the speed. What are you aware of now? We'll begin to slow this down. Returning back to neutral, letting the arms relax at the sides. Now up forwards and backwards and down. The mind is wandering, return to the breath, return to the third eye. But allow yourself to visualize the movement and flow of fluids inside the tree, plants. Begin to slow. You can do the same with your own body. And since we're focusing on the wood element, it's sometimes helpful to let that be the visualization. You're back to neutral now, standing tall. Feeling the strength of your trunk. And perhaps the strength of your limbs, or maybe even the lightness of your limbs. The groundedness, connection with the earth through the roots, and the canopy, the head, reaching up to the heavens. And now let the hands come to the hips. And from here, begin to stir the soup. You choose your direction. And this, with that visual of your tree, you can feel yourself. It's almost as if you were boring down into the earth. And lengthening up into the heavens. And 2 more circles, this direction, the one you chose to go with, returning back to neutral. Now go the other way. You have a picture, a visual of a tree or a plant. Or are you simply aware of what is happening now in this moment? Connection with the earth. The awareness of the nightfall that is coming, or for folks who may watch at a later date, the sunrise or the actual presence of the sun itself during the day. 3 more circles. And back to neutral. And from here, let's bring the hands up now to the waist. And now you can get a little bit of a sensation on the right side there, the liver itself, and on the left, the stomach and the spleen. And let's begin to circle, choosing your direction again, but tiny circles. So mine were a little large to begin with, so I'll just make them smaller in circumference because we're focusing on the tailbone. Breathing the deep belly breath. Imagining you're holding your branches, gripping the side of the trunk. And back to neutral, go the other way. You have the expansiveness of respiration. Deep belly breath. As a tree, you were flexible. Strong. Not rigid. And back to neutral. Now take an inhale and gently tuck the tailbone forward. And exhales back. Inhales forward. And exhales back. Forwards. And backwards. Forwards. And backwards. Forwards. And backwards. One more. Forwards. And backwards. Sweep back up to the heavens. Gather some fresh chi, gently pressing down. And let's bend into the knees. Now you can take those thumbs to the inside of the legs here. And in so doing, you might even just find, just on the inside, just above the knees, you find the liver meridian. And the outside fingers, maybe that middle finger might just find the gallbladder meridian. It's circling around. Now don't overthink it. Just let the fingers naturally come down onto the leg. But we have other meridians running through there too. We have clearly go over the stomach. You have the spleen, kidneys. But just breathing. Circling around. I went left to right, perhaps you went a different direction, but we'll do both. So think of this as nurturing the blood. So we're moving the blood through the deep belly breath. The movement of this blood that has been refined and cleansed by the liver will then be ready later on to be housed by the liver overnight. Return back to neutral. Let's go the other way now. Right to left for me. Just the other way for you. Notice what sensations you feel. It's your mental state, your emotional state. Notice the nature of the heat in the body or the clarity in the eyes. And one more. We'll come back to neutral, standing tall. Just sweep the arms up overhead. Gently press down. Lifting up in front of the body, bringing the wrists together. Now circling around at chest level. Just opening, closing, rolling the wrists. They never stop touching one another. Now, this is a wonderful opportunity to engage the eyes. So you can focus on those rolling wrists or the hands themselves. And finishing with the arms out, come the other way. And our last movement forward. The arms will stretch out, will open out to the side. Gently let them drift down, down, down to the sides. Now at this point in time, the female gender could take the right foot back, curl the toes under, the male the left, but you could switch it up if you like, and just circle around with the top and then the bottom of the foot to the earth. So if the surface is hard and you're barefoot, just be gentle. But you're looking for pressing at the top of the foot where the big toe and adjacent toe kind of come together into the earth, and then the bottom of the foot where that large mound is. Those are kind of the key. But you can feel outside a little pinky toe, maybe rubbing. That's the gallbladder point. So 9 times one way, and 9 the other. And when you finish, press down to the top of the foot. This will stimulate the stomach, which of course through all of this activity is being nurtured by the gallbladder and the liver itself. The stomach nurtures those two, and then we'll come up. You can kick a few times and then switch if you didn't fall over. Deep belly breath. So do the other foot now, and the same as before, 9 times each direction. And so now, again, visualize the roots. Just working their way in the soil. Interacting with all the different microbes, creatures, different elements that are found in the soil. And you can press down through the roots, top of the foot again. And then you come up if you want to kick your roots a little bit, feel free if you did. And back to neutral. So let's just find ourselves with the feet together, the arms at the sides. We'll do a series of eight movements, and just enjoy, be aware of what sensations manifest for you. And so for our first one, step that left foot out, hip shoulder width. Inhales up the midline of the body, about chest level. Interlace the fingers and turn the palms to the heavens and continue to press up as you look up. And then open the arms, float all the way down to the sides. Bend the knees slightly if you like. And then once again, inhaling up the midline. Turning the palms to press heavens, fingers interlace. Exhale, lowering down. So here you can imagine your branches reaching for the stars. In fact, branches pressing heaven. And so the stretching of the canopy, the movement of the fluids through your entire system. Turn to the breath and observe the flow of blood. Now, as a tree, you have a different form of blood. But nonetheless, there is the flow. And let's do 2 more. And then lowering the arms down to the sides. We'll step the left foot in to meet the right. Let the hands drift up in front. You can just imagine this is your branches again, and a gentle relaxing up and down. Perhaps a breeze caught them, and then they relaxed. And now let's step out once again, or just move your trunk a little wider. Yes. Deep belly breath. Take an inhale and begin to lift the right branch up, the left down, and then just move your branches. We'll move side to side for a moment. Just the branches flowing in the breeze. Just up and down, gently. You can sway side to side. Excellent. Now on the next exhale, press the right branch up and the left branch down. And stretch, and then lowering and switching. Left branch up and right branch down. Bending now at the wrists. And alternating. Right branch up, left branch down. Now look for the lateralness here. So on the right side, can you feel the stretch through the liver? And then the gallbladder channel is on both sides. So on the left side, you can feel the stomach, but also the gallbladder channel. And it starts at the feet and flows all the way up ahead. And also visualize through the fingertips or the leaves. Deep belly breath. Continue to visualize your tree. And one more set. Finishing as the left branch presses up. And the right branch presses down. Letting the left branch flow down, we'll gently lift the branches, stepping that left foot back, making a solid trunk in the hand so the branches come down. What are you aware of now? I will step that left foot out, but this time we're going to widen the stand. So you imagine the roots that spread wide apart, or the trunk has become very, very big. And then just adjust the feet, toes pointing straight ahead, but maybe out a little bit to the sides if you like. And we'll inhale and bring the arms or your branches up in front, and the backs of the branches touching, and the elbows roughly chest high. And exhale, just sit. Taking the left branch out, the index finger to the sky, pull back with the right branch. And then reaching out to the side, we'll come back through, straightening the legs, the trunk is upright. Exhale, sitting down. And so while you may know this by different names, clearly you can see what the image is portraying, but we're trees. And so we're enjoying the experience as a tree as we nurture our liver and our eyes, and strengthen our trunk, and stretch our branches. Each time you sit lower, extending the left branch, drawing back with the right, reaching out right, coming back through his legs straightened. Sitting down, taking the right arm branch out, pulling back with the left, opening the left, coming through. And continuing with the pattern, just opposite movements. Flowing. And if you end up doing one side twice, don't worry about it. Just think about which one did I do? We began with the left branch extending, so why not finish here with the right branch extending and reaching out, flowing through, and then letting the branches relax down. And we can work our roots and trunk back together. And slowly you can take that left part of your trunk out a bit. And we'll bend into the knees slightly and let the branches hang. It's like a willow tree or maybe a cypress. And take a nice big inhale and lengthen through the crown as you turn the branches open, looking over to the left. I'm coming back through, letting the branches turn inward, bending the trunk a bit, and then now going to the right. And that's the pattern. Alternating sides. As a tree, twisting in the breeze. Now see if you can experience this twist and this lengthening of your trunk from the feet, from the roots, through the crown. And so that entire trunk is twisting, and it's twisting even more as you get up higher in the tree. What are you aware of now? Natural deep belly breath or respiration as the tree. And one more twist, full set first to the left, and then the branches to the right. Returning, branches relaxed, trunk just gently settling down with a slight bend in the knees. And you can bring your trunk back together with the stepping in, the arms. We could lift our branches for a moment, why not? And gently let them settle. Now we'll step the trunk out to the left once again. So the trunk has gotten very wide. This time it's valuable to turn your roots out a little bit, 30, 45 degrees. And you might want to just sway a little side to side. So we want to calm the temperature of the blood. So we're going to do that by softening, strengthening, relaxing, twisting. Yes, lots of things going on here. Bring the boiling point down. Bring the temperature down. So coming back to neutral, we'll bend now into those knees, into your trunk. Let the hands gently rest on the thighs, just above the knees. Inhale to lengthen high through that crown. And exhales come across with the left trunk, or rather the left branch. So the shoulder, right? Shoulder towards right knee, and then across in front, and the right shoulder towards the left knee. You're lifting the torso as you look up. So that canopy is always engaged here. Then coming back down now, right shoulder towards left knee and left shoulder, so left branch right towards right, looking up, then lifting the canopy and coming down, and just alternating directions as you twist. Looking up, and then rising up, then looking down, coming across, twist, look up, and lift. So left shoulder to right knee, lengthen through the crown or the canopy, then right shoulder towards left knee, look up, lift as you come up, and then right shoulder towards left knee, looking down, lengthening through the crown or the canopy, over to the right, so left shoulder towards right, look up, and lift. And we'll continue with that just for a few more. And notice the twist. Feel the spiral movement. And notice if in fact you do feel a bit of evening out flow, maybe a cleansing, calming down of heat, or maybe you feel a lot warmer, but it's more evenly distributed. Perhaps you feel the nourishment of the blood itself. Let's do one more set. We'll finish as we come back to the right. Looking up, then lifting, straightening those legs or trunks. We can step our trunk back together slowly. Let the branches lift once again and slowly float down. Notice what you are aware of now. Is there more of an evenness flowing through your being? What do you feel in this area here? Or this area up here? Or maybe more down here? It's more pronounced. Open the trunk just slightly. And we'll bring those branches back to the kidneys. Take an inhale, and on the exhales, let the branches trace their way all the way down the backs of the trunk, over the roots, and then up those inner channels or inside of the trunk and up the trunk, reaching for the heavens as the canopy expands, opening the fingers, little blossoms, and then gently drawing down heavenly essence. Maybe even you can think of dew from a cool night back to the kidneys. And then slowly floating down. And up from the roots, up the sides of the trunk, reaching for the stars or the sun. And slowly lowering. Inhales, exhales, begin the journey down the backs of the legs, the backs of the trunk, over the roots, up the inside or the inner part of the trunk, front side of the trunk. Reaching once again and slowly lowering. Inhales and come down. Always checking in with the breath. If the mind is wandering, return to your third eye, your seat of intuition, and exhales going down. And lifting, and drawing down. And last one, inhales, exhales, down the back of the trunk, over the roots, up the front side, all the way up with the branches, And our final movement, drawing down the essence for this stage. Arms can come to the sides, or you put a breath into the kidneys. Stepping in with the left foot, the arms return back to the sides. And then let's just step out once again, widening the trunk slightly, the arms, your branches at the side, and we'll make some gentle fists, like you were curling up the leaves at the end, or maybe an unfurled tendril that just hasn't had a chance to open yet. So here, take an inhale, and on the exhale, just bend slightly, just lowering the trunk a bit as you gently extend the branch forwards, and the eyes are big. And then you will draw back as you maybe straighten the legs. You keep the trunk steady in a bent format, or you can bend as you extend, and as you draw back on the inhale, you straighten. So you decide if you want to hold the steady position. Now these branches, there's a strong wind, and your eyes are big. So if the wind is strong, there's resistance. And so you're moving your branch through this resistance. Slowly, with control, feeling the strengthening. Feeling the steadfastness, but not rigidity, flexibility. Natural deep belly breath. Flowing, extending. Big eyes wide open. Clarity. You can see things as they are. Excellent. One more. And return, we'll let those branches relax, and we'll step in, the trunk forming once again, a solid trunk, gently letting the branches rise and then soften, return. And now we're going to get a little growth spurt. So we'll step out with the trunk, once again with the left. And from here, just imagine there was a big gust of wind. You just bent over, all the way over. Hanging now, just sheltering yourself from the wind for the moment, or flowing with it. Now inhale and lift the upper portion of your tree. Just let it come up, and then let it bend backwards. The glutes engage, come high on the toes, drop the heels and just shake. You can almost feel the reverberation of the wind, maybe the sound if there was light, thunder, the brightness of the lightning strike, and then stop the shaking. And as again, hinge. The storm is pretty strong. Inhaling up, but what you're doing is you're calming yourself down, flowing with it high on the toes, lower the heels, and just let your branch shake, vibrating. And then again, hinge with the wind. And lift. Go into the back leg, glutes engage, high on the toes, lower the heels, and flow. And once again, hinge. Inhaling up. Bring those shoulders back and down, high on the toes, lower the heels, and shake. And hinge again. Inhaling up. Rolling back and down the branches, high on the toes, lower the heels, reconnect with the earth. And hinge one more, 2 more times. Inhaling out. Back bending, head back, and then lower heels and shake. And last one, hinging final. The storm is now ending. Here. Having ridden out the storm, going to the back bend, high on the toes, and lower the heels and shake. And then you can stand upright as your tree. You can step that left part back in to make a solid trunk. And we'll slowly lift the branches up and gently, gently lower down. We'll inhale up and circle around. And once again, flow back up and down, up from the sides, around and down. And lifting up now in front of the heart, let the thumbs touch and the index fingers touch, and gently extend forward. And slowly then let the arms drift down. And the feet can widen if you like. If you feel a little more stable, bring the hands to the belly, female right, male left, switch it up if you like. The other hand over top. And just take a momentary few breaths. Noticing the imprint of being a tree, of working through the visualization and experiences of being in nature. Notice the quality of the blood now, if you can. Do you feel perhaps it's been enriched with oxygen, perhaps cleansed, a bit more pure? Do you feel that the blood's flowing throughout your body more effectively, more efficiently? Do you feel a little bit more even keeled? A little more balanced thermally? A little more even emotionally? And when you are ready, you can raise the hands up in front of the face. Let's vigorously rub them together to create a little heat. And place them over the eyes, allowing for the inwards penetration of the life force. And slowly, slowly, we can open the eyes. They will close and let the hands drift down, encapsulating the right fist with the left palm, a gentle bow. I want to thank you all for tuning in this evening. I hope you enjoyed this opportunity to be a tree, to be a shrub, to experience, once again, that wood element, the liver, and the spleen, not spleen, excuse me, gallbladder. Have a lovely rest of the night. If you do watch this again, just enjoy it. But thank you for tuning in. Feel free to say goodbye or send a comment, whatever feels appropriate to you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you all.